Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Danny Dumas, and this is the Ernie Tata podcast. Today, we're going to talk about our fitness, our health, and losing weight, but not necessarily losing weight, but being more mindful of what we eat and how to lose weight if you need to. And this might apply a little bit more to the older guys. I'm 44. I'll be 45 in a couple weeks. And I'm going to share a tool that I've been using and the reason why I'm using it and the reason I didn't need it before. So, a lot of guys, you're in high school, you played some type of sports, you were active, then you get out of high school. So I played basketball in high school, and I was in really good shape. I could run up and down the court for an hour or so, and I would be tired, but I could do it. And I got out of high school, and I started my job. My job was physical, so I stayed healthy, and I had different interests over time. I got into mountain climbing, so I would train for that. And as I moved from 18 to 25, I gained some weight in a good way. I got much stronger. I started in the fire service. I weighed 155 pounds, and that was too little. I needed to become a bigger man. And so I moved up to roughly like that 190, 180, 190, got much stronger, and I was a more efficient firefighter because I was just bigger and stronger. And then, that was 25 to 30-ish. I ran a marathon in there at some point. I slimmed down from the marathon, get up into 35. And this whole point, up until about 35 years old, I really just ate whatever I wanted. I'm a sweetsaholic, if that is my addiction. I've talked about that before, but no big deal, right? I didn't gain excessive amounts of weight eating whatever I wanted. But if you're like me, you notice somewhere in your 30s, and it can be different for everybody. For me, it was around 35. I realized that I could no longer outwork a bad diet, that if I wanted to stay at a consistent weight, I needed to exercise, which was very important, but more importantly, I had to at least think about my food. Where before I didn't need to even think about it. It was just, I'm going to be fine. And so I've gone down a journey of figuring out what works and what doesn't. And this is the very frustrating part about the human body and weight loss. What used to work doesn't work, or at least not at the same quantities. So right around 35, I had gotten up to, 200 pounds or so, and I wanted to get down into that 190s, which I felt like was, I was just more healthy there. And I found intermittent fasting. And I'm a believer in intermittent fasting. I think it's great. And that took me pretty good. I stayed around the 200 mark, but when I got to my 40s, I bumped up into the 210, then to 215. And at the beginning of this year, I found myself at 215 pounds, the heaviest I've ever been. And I wasn't happy with that. And so I'm like, okay, I haven't really been doing intermittent fasting. I'm going to hit intermittent fasting. So for me, that's stopping eating at 8 and not starting till noon, decrease that time window. And I still wasn't losing weight. I'm like, what in the world? I was maintaining, I wasn't getting any more, and I still think it was good, but I realized I had to do more. And so I started counting macros. And that's just a fancy term for figuring out what you're eating, but not necessarily counting calories. Your macros are going to be protein, which is, we think of those generally as like meat. But they can be, whey protein, or there's some vegetables that have like beans and things that have proteins. Fats, that's pretty self-explanatory, and carbs. And I'm using a app called the Macro Factory, and I'll show it to you here. I don't know if you can see it. You might not be able to see it. And I'm actually going to do a whole YouTube video on how this tool works. There are several. One, you could just use your notes on your phone, just type in what you ate and just literally look at the nutrition label. You have the Fitness Pal, and there was a lot of recommendations for this Macro Factor, Macro Factor, and it has some really cool tools. And so this is a little bit of a review. I haven't done these type of episodes, but it helps you record your macros because it is not the easiest thing to do. This is not the simplest way to figure out what you're eating, but I realized it's really important. I realized after doing this for several weeks that I understood what was good to eat or bad to eat. And I really don't like to use those words because food doesn't have morality, but healthy food versus nutritious versus not nutritious, whatever words you want to use. But what I didn't realize was the quantity, how much that was affecting me gaining or losing weight. So I know Oreos have 90 calories per Oreo, something like that. But I wasn't doing the math in my head and going, oh, I'm having 5, right? So that's 450 calories. That's a lot. And so by starting to count my macros, I was making decisions to have some junk food when I had the ability, when I had not had the junk food earlier in the day. And it's been very helpful. And, I'm down 4 pounds. And I am gaining a better understanding of actually how to plan my day so that I'm getting everything I need. And this is the other thing that's important. Some days I'm hitting my calorie mark, I'm getting enough calories, but there's one thing that's very helpful and very important when you're trying to lose weight is getting enough protein. And that is really hard. And intermittent fasting makes it a little bit harder because you're skipping breakfast. Basically, the way I do it, I'm basically just skipping breakfast. So I'm missing that window of getting protein. So if I want to continue to intermittent fast, I have to hit that protein window pretty hard, which means probably 2 protein shakes a day in addition to protein heavy meals. Because right now my calories, I'm shooting for 2,410. And what I did, I told them I wanted to weigh, I think I said I wanted to weigh 190. And so the benefit of this is it uses AI. I don't know how much AI it actually uses, but it figures out a 0.5% a week. And that's going to have me to my goal around June-ish, if I can continue hitting the mark. So I'm losing about 1 pound a week, which is a 0.5% of my body weight. And then weekly, this adjusts my macro. So I'm at 2,410 calories for the day. I'm trying to get 180 grams of protein, 80 grams of fat, and 241 grams of carbs. And this app does just about everything to benefit you from to figuring that out. The big thing being the food log, multiple ways to log your food. And I'm going to click on this just so I don't forget them. It has a scan feature. So you take your barcode on your food and scan it, and it instantly dumps it into the app. One thing you have to be cognizant of, especially I'll make a protein shake and I'll add frozen fruit to it. Well, a cup of frozen fruit is a serving, and I'm probably not using it's just a handful just to change the flavor. So you have to change that to 0.5 serving. So it's a 1/2 cup. So that can be kind of challenging, but most things are scannable. If it's not scannable, we were at work the other day and they made lasagna. I didn't go through and scan the meat, scan the sauce. So I just put a, medium-sized sheet of a piece of lasagna, and there is an AI thing, and it breaks it down into what it's guessing would be a serving of lasagna. So, and the point is not to get it perfect. And for some people, that's really easy because they're not perfectionists. That's kind of me. All right, I had a cookie. I don't know how many calories in there. So I just put chocolate chip cookie and it said it's 180 calories. Okay, cool. It's close enough. Some people that's going to annoy you because it's not going to be perfect, but it's been really, really helpful to figure out what I'm doing and what was doing too much of. And I am actually making good decisions based on this app. Now it's a paid app. I think it's 12. So I had a free 1 week. If you go online, you find someone to review it. A lot of them, they have an affiliate, which will give you 2 free weeks, which I didn't do. I wish I would have done it. And then I paid for monthly. I think it's $12. And then I think if you do it for the whole year, it's $70. So if I continue to use it over the next 2 months, I'll probably switch to the yearly because I want to keep doing it. So I always do that with an app. Even though it's cheaper to do it for a year, I want to make sure that I'm actually going to use it. But I highly recommend this because what I realized as a almost 45-year-old man, I cannot work a bad diet. And I don't think you need to live like this by recording everything, but 1 month out of the year, just get back into it. If you want to get really detailed, go get a scale and weigh everything. And then, if you planned out your meals for the whole week, you could, and the cool thing about it, say you made lasagna and you scanned the sausage and the meat you put in it and the sauce and the noodles, you can make a recipe. So then you go back to your recipes and go, I made lasagna again, and it's already all there. And you just said I had 1 serving and it figures it out. So there's lots of ways to make this useful, and try it. If you are, middle age, I guess is where I'm at, which is really crazy to say, I'm halfway to 90. And you have struggled to lose weight and you realize that I'm working out and I am doing some things like intermittent fasting or whatever, then try this. I think it's very helpful. I will say this, once I get to the weight that I plan that I want to be at, which, I'm shooting for like the 190s, I will stop tracking my macros and only track my protein intake. I think everybody should be doing that, trying to get that, 180, 190 grams of protein. There's some debate on how much that is. Some people say 1 gram per pound of body weight. Some people say 1 gram per pound of ideal body weight. So I think that's why I'm at 180, because that would probably be my ideal. I don't plan on getting to 180. I think I would look too skinny. But yeah, try it. Just try it out and see. It's an experiment. It's something different. Invest in your health. The thing that my wife, she got me I'm getting a DEXA scan, so it's going to see exactly how much body fat I have, where it's at, and do I need to do that? I don't need to do that, not at all. But it makes me, by doing things like that, it was a gift. And by doing things like that, it makes me someone that does things like that, if that makes sense. Like I track my sleep, and I had a whole episode on technology that I'm using. Invest in your health. I have a HSA, a health savings account, that I can put money into every month. I'm going to up that because I found there's a lot of things. Like I just bought a percussive massage gun because, I'm sore after working out. That was covered. I was completely reimbursed. Having a scale that does body fat percentages, those are covered. Getting your blood work done that does like extra stuff like ApoB and things that your doctor's not normally doing it, getting that done every 6 months to see where your marker's at, to see where you're healthy, it makes you healthier. Like, because you're investing in it. You're excited to see what your numbers are. So I know that's a cost, and you don't have to spend any money to be healthy. You can do body weight only exercises, never step on a scale, never go to a doctor, never spend any money on an app. That's all possible. But I think if you want to be successful and you have the ability to invest, spend some money. Get off your pocketbook and spend some money. Because I will tell you this, I am heavily involved with people who did not invest in their health and are living terrible lives. They're living unhealthy lives where they're just not capable of doing anything. They sit at home for the last 15 years and just wait to die, as opposed to living their life right up to it. And I've said it once, I'll say it again, just being old and having one bad day. I'm super proud of my parents. I know they listen to every episode. So Mom and Dad, I am proud of you. They're listening to this episode when this comes out. They'll be listening to it either going to the gym at like 5 a.m. or coming home from the gym at 6 later on. Every single day they do that. And they're going to live, other than a car accident or my dad falling out of a tree stand hunting, that happened once already. So hopefully he got that out of his system. They're going to live a good, healthy life. And they're going to be there for me and my grandkids, and probably, take care of my great grandkids, which is just so cool to think about. And they're investing, they're getting a gym membership because healthy people have that. They're eating right because that's what healthy people do. And you can be a healthy person. If you need help being a healthy person, I was a personal trainer for many years. You need a plan, you need some accountability, reach out to me. My email is danny@dannydumas.com. I would love to help you. Download this app. I'll leave a link, and I'm going to try to make a actual video of how to use it. I'm not a pro. I'm sure there's people that used it, for a year, 2 years, but I think I got the idea. So I'm going to make a YouTube video about that. And I can't wait to hear your success. I can't wait to see some pictures of you before and after. That'd be exciting. As always, my name is Danny Dumas. This is the Ernie Tata podcast, and I will talk to you later. Bye.